what is life all about? My father said to me, by the time I figured out what life was all about, it was time to go. And throughout the duration of my life, as I entered in and out of situations and circumstances, I have collected a lot of data, and I have concluded that life isn't a collection of seconds, hours, and years. Instead, all life is really about is moments. When you reflect back on your life, all you remember are the moments. Whether those moments are good or bad, they have a lot to do with our outcomes and how we perceive ourselves. One moment that can alter the way that you process things the rest of your life. All of my children are grown now, but when they gather around the table and they talk, they always talk about the moments. I worked real hard, and when they were small, I worked long hours, I worked shift work, and to give them things that I thought was important, and they never mentioned any of the things. They don't sit up as adults and talk about the toys. They don't talk about the things that I paid for on a credit card and paid 18% interest for. They don't talk about any of those things. They talk about moments where they experienced something or went somewhere with us, or we were laughing around a table with pancakes. And I've concluded if I had it to do over again, I would be a lot wealthier. And I would give them less stuff and more me.
Are you fully engaged, making the most of each moment, loving your family? The reason some relationships are not healthy is you came home from work, but you didn't really show up.
Little girl says to her mother, Daddy comes home and says hello, disappears, and works on these papers. And her mother said, look, your daddy loves you very much, but he's so busy at work, he can't get it all done, he has to bring it home. And the little girl said, why don't they just put him in a slower group? If you don't have time for your kids, you might consider joining a slower group.
If you're going to be fulfilled, you have to show up for life. You have to be there when you get there. The problem with being in the past or being in the future is you will miss the present. Come into today. I know people that lost what they had going after what they wanted. You can miss your child growing up, going after what you want, because you're so consumed with your business, with how you're going to fix that problem. But the people in your life are not always going to be there. When you're with your family, give them your time. Enjoy where you are. Take time for the people God's given you. The problems will resolve in God's timing. Constantly thinking about your goals doesn't make them happen any faster. Stay in the moment.
To give people moments is important. If you can't give anybody but a moment, give them a moment that they will remember till they die, because you were fully invested in the moment. Because moments are important. They determine destiny. Almost everything about how we are can be traced back to moments. You have to be intentional about moments, making sure you go out of your way to make the moment happen. You're not a child anymore. Children just receive moments. Adults make moments happen. And if nobody teaches that, you'll be busy giving people things while you are absent, and the real treasure is to give them you. This is a defining moment. Be present in the moment. Some of you live in the past. Others of you worry about the future. I spent all last year, and I'm working on it still this year, on being where I am. You can't enjoy where you are for grieving over where you've been.
But Joel, I'm worried because I don't see how my situation could ever work out. You're not supposed to. You have to trust that God is in control, that He's planned out all of your days. Instead of fighting where you are, learn to embrace where you are. God is ordering your steps. Sometimes we don't understand it. But like with Joseph, all the disappointments, They were a part of God's plan to get him to the throne. Now, while you're waiting, trust him enough to enjoy your life. Be grateful for what you have. It's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. When all the while God has you at this place for a reason, there's a test that you can pass. What are you doing with today? Are you present and connected, or are you present and disengaged? Joel, I would, but man, I've had disappointments. How do you know that's not leading you to your destiny? Let it go. It's all a part of the process. We can get to our destination enjoying the journey, or we can get there worried, upset. I'm asking you to live in the present. Keep your vision in front of you, but don't let what hasn't happened frustrate you. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the beauty of creation. Not trying to rush through this part of the day, but take time to enjoy the present.
If you miss your moment, you are not guaranteed a repeat opportunity. If you miss this window and you fool around and let that window close, you may not ever have the right to have the impact that you need. If Harlan Sanders opened up KFC today, he go bankrupt. In spite of what the enemy tells you, in spite of all the miracles you've done in your past, you have not seen your greatest moment. Maybe I don't have it. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe nobody wants me. The rejection is an indication of selection. Everything is going to line up right. You won't have to fight for it. As the master orchestrates your life, everything around you is going to lay down for where you're getting ready to walk. Everything will come into alignment. The things you are worried about, stop worrying about it. The way is made. The door is open. Where are you? Do not miss this moment. This is a moment.
When this day is a gift, then you'll live it to the full. You will say like David, this is the day the Lord has made. Not just going to be present, I'm going to be connected. I'm going to make the most of it.
Man, you know what I did? I just blew my 20s. I ended up spending all of my 30s doing what I could have been doing in my 20s. Man, I had let too much time slip away.
The key is time is precious. Life is not just the passing of time. Life is a collection of experiences. Life is not just watching the clock tick away. Whatever the span of your life turns out to be, here's what you want to fill it up with: experiences and the intensity of those experiences.
The question becomes, what are you going to do now? You came here to do something, and that's making every moment count. You came here to do something, so that your future you will say, I'm glad you made that choice. Yeah, there are a lot of people walking around with a lot of potential in them that's dead. You can live a life that will outlive you. Oh, you have greatness in you.
So impose on yourself this self-development of being in charge, taking charge of your life and your future and your responsibilities and all the rest.